From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike Kruger, everyone. It looks like we are going to be looking at a cool night again here for tonight. Let's get you through Kruger's Quickcast here. We're going to go ahead and start with your temperatures for tonight. You can see temperatures in the mid-60s, give or take, for the valley. Again, nothing unusual, nothing we haven't seen here for quite a while. 40s and 50s for many of the higher elevations, and mid to upper 50s out along the coast here. As you're heading out the door for your Thursday, August 29th, well, it looks like in the morning here, again, temperatures are staying on the mild side, but mainly upper 60s for the valley, and then we can expect to see those temperatures 50s and even some 60s here for the coast and in the higher elevations here for tomorrow morning. Now, taking a look at Futurecast, what we've got here is some fog that really is kind of breaking away from the coast, so more sunshine there. However, there is some fog down to our south that may eventually work its way northward as we go into your Friday, but for tomorrow, what we're seeing here is, plenty of sunshine even along the coast with temperatures kind of hovering around that 70-degree mark, so kind of warm even for the coast. But for the valley, you're most likely 100 degrees or higher, or give or take here for most of us in the valley. And we're talking mainly 90s for most of the higher elevations. So it's getting warmer out there, and that warmer air is going to stick around for a while, at least through Friday and even Saturday. Saturday, I've got you at 99 degrees for Redding, but we could still even touch that 100-degree mark, and upper 90s for Red Bluff and Chico. But this is where we see the more noticeable drop of the temperatures by Sunday and into your Labor Day. And that trend will continue for pretty much everyone else too. The coast, you're seeing temperatures in the mid-60s by the weekend here and into next week. But still kind of looking at those fairly hot temperatures even for Weaverville and the inland areas through at least Friday, if not into Saturday, before we see a more noticeable drop here for the second half of the weekend. It's also the case for Mount Shasta City, Alturas, and Susanville. Looks like those temperatures are dropping down into the low 80s for Mount Shasta and Alturas on Monday, your Labor Day, so kind of wrapping up your holiday weekend will kind of cool things off. And then Sunday for Susanville on Monday, a temperature of about 86 degrees. And by the way, I want to remind you there's a free Weather NorCal 24-hour streaming channel. It's available all different locations. You can watch it on the website at weathernorcal.com. You can watch it from the free Weather NorCal app. You can also watch it from YouTube on the YouTube channel, the Weather NorCal YouTube channel. Just search for Weather NorCal on YouTube, and you can watch the 24-hour streaming channel there as well. And if you have a smart TV with YouTube on it, you can watch the 24-hour streaming channel. If you have Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, just search for Weather NorCal in the App Store there, and you can watch the 24-hour streaming channel. So just kind of another cool resource that we offer here at Weather NorCal. Some of the things you just don't get anywhere else. All right, so the summer heat, it has returned. Triple-digit heat for at least the rest of the work week, if not even into Saturday for some in the valley. But we do have a cooling trend this weekend. But even though it's going to warm up next week, I don't see any major heat waves heading our way anytime soon. Okay, so we take a look at the winds and we go into your Thursday, and the winds actually mostly staying below 10 miles per hour in most cases. However, as we go into Friday, what we're going to notice is those winds are beginning to pick up in some areas. Now we're getting over 15 miles per hour. Not a major wind event. Nothing to be terribly concerned about, but this will most likely elevate our fire danger. And the reason being is we're going to combine those slightly stronger winds with low humidity for your Thursday. Low humidity also will be the case going into your Friday as well. It should be probably even a little bit lower, down to the single digits. So when we factor in the hot temperatures, which I've just been telling you about, along with the stronger winds going into your Friday in particular, and the low humidity, there you can see now it's all mainly within that high category for Friday for the valley. But even Shasta Valley in central Siskiyou County, and we're getting into that moderate to even close to high range for some of us, especially in Modoc County and the eastern mountains. So just something to keep in mind as we're going through the next few days is that we are going to see that more elevated fire risk going into the end of the work week. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast, and you can see for tomorrow morning, not much in the way of that fog here, even along the coast. We are starting to see some fog kind of working its way from the south, but really won't be here along the coast, that is, until we get into your Friday morning. And you can see places like Shelter Cove, for example, may start to see some of that fog kind of working its way in, but then it really kind of stays to the south there through the day on Friday. But also take note, on Friday afternoon, we're beginning to see some more clouds develop here. This is the first signs of the potential for some monsoon moisture to work its way in by Friday and through the weekend. And when we look at Futurecast here, here's a look at Saturday. We're still seeing those clouds off towards Modoc County, Lassen County, not to mention even parts of Siskiyou County getting in on that as well. So could we rule out a stray shower or thunderstorm? Even as early as Friday? Not out of the question. We take you into Sunday, getting a little bit more aggressive with the potential for some of those showers and thunderstorms here in the southern Cascades and northern Sierra. So it's mainly Saturday, Sunday that I got my eyes on, but even possibly, potentially as early as Friday as well. And then going into your Monday, we do have some showers and thunderstorms up to our north. And again, too close for comfort. So even starting off into your Labor Day, things may get a little bit interesting in some areas as well. But then after that, the monsoon moisture moves on out, and we do expect to see mainly dry conditions and sunny skies as well. Now, the temperatures are going to be impacted a bit by this area of low pressure right here. It's not cool air by any stretch of the imagination, but it is more mild air. So as it works its way through, it's going to help to drop our temperatures. But before that gets here, we've got high pressure building back in. And that's why it's getting hotter out there. That's why we are seeing those triple digits in the valley. But then as we go into the weekend, in particular Sunday into Monday, we do have this right here kind of pushing on through. So again, it's not a cold area of low pressure, but it is more mild. And on top of that, it's helping to push the heat off to our east, so we see our temperatures drop. Now, we're talking mainly low 90s in the valley for your Sunday, Monday, but some areas on Monday in particular could possibly even see some upper 80s for some of the cooler spots in the valley. And by the way, that's mainly going to mean 80s for the higher elevations and still those mid 60s here for the coast. And then going through Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday of next week, we do have high pressure building back in as that cooler air or more mild air moves out, and that will allow our temperatures to kind of creep back up. But here's the thing, next week, yes, it is warming back up with this route of high pressure, but it's not going to be a major heat wave, as I mentioned. And most likely next week won't be as hot as what we're seeing now, right? So you can see 102 is kind of the peak on Thursday for Redding, and then it slowly dips down. But even still right around 100 degrees on Saturday to start off the weekend, unfortunately. But for the second half of the weekend, Sunday, Monday, we're back in the low to mid 90s here. And as I mentioned, maybe some areas in the valley could even reach the down to the upper 80s. But you can see that temperatures going up for next week. But I mean, we're barely touching 100 degrees here. So not quite the 101, 102, but still getting hotter nonetheless, and slightly above normal for this time of the year, but nothing to really be alarmed about, and nothing we're not used to around here. So we look at the wave heights, and that small crutch advisory we've had today will most likely be allowed to expire here as we go into your Thursday, and not to mention your Friday, as those waves are going to be getting lower and lower over the next 24 to 48 hours. So for tonight, we saw this a little bit earlier, we're talking mainly mid 60s, give or take, for the valley, 40s and 50s for the higher elevations, and there you can see mid to upper 50s along the coast. Now, looking at your detailed Trinity County neighborhood forecast here, again, we're going to be hovering around 100 degrees here for your Thursday, Friday, but then temperatures start to dip again. And this trend that you're seeing here is the trend everyone is going to be experiencing. Even the coast will be looking at those cooler temperatures here as we go into the second half of the weekend. So upper 60s to around 70 Thursday, Friday, temperatures mid 60s by Sunday, Monday. And then you can see another little slight increase by Tuesday, Wednesday. Once again, the overall trend for all of Northern California. But look at tomorrow. I mean, even Orleans, a high of 101, 100 in Hoopa, with 77 degrees for Smith River. Siskiyou County, Happy Camp can get up to 100. There you can see 96 in Wairika. So we're talking low to mid 90s along the I-5 corridor there. But look at Hornbrook, about 99, mid to upper 80s for places like Tennant, McDowell, and Doris. So it's warming up there as well. We take you out to Modoc County, where temperatures there could get into the 90s as well. So yeah, a bit of an increase from what we saw today. 91 Alturas and California Pines, 87 for Cedarville, and Eagleville, about 90 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 80s, 90s for your daytime highs, right? 86 for Mineral, 82 for Viola, Paradise about 93. That's also the case for Susanville. Looks like Janesville and Doyle about 91 degrees. In your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, temperatures kind of hovering around that 100 degree mark, give or take, for your Thursday. We're a little bit warmer heading up to the north. 102 for Redding, 101 for Red Bluff, 98 for Whiskeytown, Lakehead about 102, and Bella Vista about 102. So let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. Now you can see those temperatures are dropping slightly after tomorrow, still getting close to, if not right around 100 for your Saturday. And then for the second half of your Labor Day weekend, we're down to 94 Sunday, 91 Monday. As I mentioned though, some of those Southern Valley locations, especially places like, say, south of Chico, and Chico in particular, could possibly even get down into the upper 80s for those daytime highs on Monday. But we again see that gradual increase for your Tuesday and Wednesday. That is a look at your evening forecast. We will see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. with my updated forecast, and also live on Coffee with Kruger at 7 o'clock.
We're the locals down the street. The neighbor you come to for advice. A nest egg for the golden years. A loan or a new account for that growing business. What started in Chico 50 years ago has taken us all around California, providing big bank lending power and high-tech service, while keeping our relationships personal. We're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street might be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.